All right, so I'm still kind of salty about Bridgerton season 3, and none of my friends or family have watched any of it, so I'm going to vent to random people on the internet. Come along, if you are so inclined. Hello, my beautiful friends. Welcome or welcome back to The Random Creative. I don't usually watch a lot of Netflix shows, despite the fact that my last video was also about a Netflix original, but whatever. Don't judge me. Every once in a while, there's a show where I really want to see the latest season, so I'll just pay for a month, binge the whole thing, and then cancel. That's kind of what happened with Bridgerton, because that was one of those shows that I got really sucked into. But I gotta say, Season 3 was a disappointment for me. To this day, Season 1 is still my favorite. It had intrigue and mystery, plus the love story between the main characters was pretty darn spicy, if I do say so myself. I mean, it was a Jane Austen inspired alternative history and a historical gossip girl at the same time. What's not to love about that? That's fantastic. The male main character in season 1, who was that, Duke of Hastings? Is that who it was? He was smoking hot. Loved him. It was this slow burn, innocent touches and almost kisses that turned into just this full-blown passion. It was amazing. I loved it. Then season 2 came out. And look, I had a coworker back when season 2 first came out who actually liked it even more than season 1, and that's totally fine. I'm sure there's people out there like that, but for me, it was kind of the beginning of the end. There were parts that I enjoyed in season 2, but the main love story in that one, for whatever reason, felt really forced to me. I don't know why. The main characters for this arc had zero chemistry, just in my humble opinion, of course. I mean, at one point I was actually why is there no connection here? Is he gay or something? I mean, what's going on here? Hey, guess what? Apparently I called that one. But here's the thing, I think he's totally capable of acting the playboy. He had great chemistry with the first season's, casual flings, and I totally played that part well. So I think he's a good actor and all. I think he could do that. Just for whatever reason, I don't know, maybe I think the dialogue was more cheesy this time around, and the conversations and interactions kind of felt more forced and just not natural. It didn't flow, so I just didn't enjoy it as much. But I did love seeing things play out for Penelope and her friends. In fact, she was my favorite character for most of these seasons. So all that to say, when season 3 finally came out earlier this year, I was super excited because it looked like now Penelope was finally gonna have her love story. So I'm like, yay, we love this. Only then they ruined it. I mean, okay, that's probably kind of an exaggeration. But I felt like season 3 was just a big disappointment in a lot of ways, primarily because of Penelope and Colin's so-called love affair. And I just want to know if I'm the only one who felt this way. So I'm reaching out to the void of the internet. Tell me I'm not alone in this. Now, one thing I will say I did love was that Penelope was finally allowed to come out of her shell this season. She finally stood up for herself, really came into her own. She admitted to mistakes and potential failures because of her writings, because she saw how it had affected her closest friends' family, of course, how much it affected her longtime crush. That was still interesting. I liked that. Even some of the side characters were okay. Obviously they were trying to keep, the spice alive with some of the entanglements that went on there. That was a choice. Hey, no judgment. No judgment. We are a judgment-free channel. But then there was Colin and Penelope, and it just... So look, like I've said before, I'm only just now delving into the world of romance kind of in general, romantasy especially, because it's really popular, especially in books and stuff. It's not normally my thing and not what I usually read or watch outside of historical romance. That's always been really good to me. So I know I'm a newbie when it comes to the whole romantic storyline and bad boy trope. The whole brooding, tragic backstory, I can fix him storyline. I don't know, it's just never really been my thing. But, I am a writer. I do love fantasy. I do love a good story in general. But the thing that I've noticed with these kinds of genres, at least of what I've seen of them or read, is that they often kind of, both the movies and TV shows and the books kind of have the same tropes, the same types, And it's obviously popular for a reason, and I do think there's a place for it, but I don't know. I'm also getting kind of tired of it too. Now, in Bridgerton specifically, the Duke of Hastings in season 1, he's aloof and confident and stoic, and he has a troubled past. So again, she can fix him. It falls in line with most of the romance and romantasy that I've seen. Anthony Bridgerton in season 2 is also a confident playboy who eventually has to be tamed. You know, both of these cases, she's the only one he's ever felt this way about. Oh, it's so romantic. And it's, you know, again, popular for a reason, but it fit with those characters, right? To me, at least from what I remember, and it's been a minute since I've watched seasons 1 and 2, but Colin, from what I remember, I felt like he was well suited for Penelope and that their friendship was so sweet because he lacked confidence in some areas and seemed to be overlooked and overshadowed by his siblings, and that made him relatable in so many ways and kind of a great match for Penelope. Both of them are chronic people pleasers, putting how others may view them before their own needs at times, you know? Now, obviously there was complications even in their friendship. And to be fair to the writers at Netflix, I have not read any of the books that this series is based on, so I don't know, maybe they're just going with the storyline that was actually from the books, I don't know. But it felt like Colin went from kind of shy and sweet to glorious man whore with major sex appeal. Just all at once. And I think what the show was trying to go for was showing that he was no longer a boy but a man, but in doing so it felt like they just took away his personality to make him just like his older brothers, and it was kind of boring to me anyway. Personally speaking, I would have much rather seen him and Penelope kind of develop together, like explore together, and yes, that includes in the bedroom. I'm so tired of the whole let the experienced man show the inexperienced virgin woman how it needs to be done. Like, I'm over it. It's been done to death. Now, obviously, it worked in seasons 1 and 2, so my assumption is that, like, of course, they're just going to keep the formula going, but the first 2 seasons, it fell in line with those characters. Like, Anthony is this established major player from the literal first episode of the series, so it fits with his storyline. I would have rather seen a more realistic love scene with Penelope and Colin where maybe they're both a little awkward together, because it's the first time for both of them. That could also create an even greater bond to the two of them, because then they'd be all each other has ever known. And for those characters, I thought that would be really sweet, like romantic. Apparently I'm the only one. I guess I'm just tired of never getting to see the sweet, shy personalities for guys being showcased anymore. I don't know what like changed in the last couple of decades. And obviously to an extent, like the strong heroic male character has been going on for a really long time throughout pretty much all of cinema, right? That's nothing new. We've had that forever. But I think of some of the characters that actors like Johnny Depp has portrayed in the past that have that soulful, sometimes even borderline innocence. There's something gentle in their eyes and in their demeanor that make them different, but it's also like endearing. That's what I was hoping to see with someone like Colin. And it doesn't necessarily mean that that makes him a weak character. I think, again, part of what they were trying to showcase is that he's confident, he's also coming to his own, but I feel like they did a better job with that with Penelope than they did with him, because his felt just really abrupt, like, ooh, came back from traveling and suddenly I'm like, you know, this worldly experienced man. Whereas she, I don't know, kind of finally stood up to her family, and I don't know, I felt like hers was a little more thought out. It was more satisfying, I guess we'll put it that way. But I don't think having that dominant personality has to be a sign of strength. I know everyone always talks about how Aragorn is like this really great example of that, and everyone's probably sick of hearing it, but he really is like the perfect example of strong and quiet. He's soft-spoken and humble, loves with his whole heart, cries when he experiences loss, and he is still a complete badass with a sword who eventually becomes king. He's totally full of strength and power, but he's quiet and thoughtful as well, and I miss that. I feel like we don't get it anymore. I don't know, I guess I just feel like Colin maybe got kind of screwed over in this particular case. I would have liked to see him come more into his own that way, like more organically, instead of just becoming this copy-paste version of his older brothers. I want to see the sweet guy get the girl once in a while, dang it. Like, those are some some of my favorite movies and books. I don't know, I'm just maybe not in the targeted demographic, or maybe I'm too old for today's media. But honestly, it makes me kind of torn on whether or not I want to continue with this series. It feels more preachy, less thought out, and just not as well written at this point. So I'm torn. But yeah, as always, that's just my personal thoughts. What did I miss? Did you love season 3? Was there something that was amazing? Did I totally just miss parts of Colin's character development? And I'm like, am I just dumb? I don't get it. Absolutely share your thoughts. I would love to hear them. I'm always looking for more suggestions for books or movies to check out and kind of do a comparison, do a review on. If you've made it this far, I would love it if you would like and subscribe. That would be amazing. If you do want to support the channel monetarily, absolutely no obligation whatsoever, but if you're interested, I've got links to all my other artsy stuff that I do. In the meanwhile, that's all for now. I hope you have a fantastic day, and I will see you in the next one.